We live. Hello, and welcome to episode 2. Hello, and welcome to episode 2 of Stream of Consciousness, where I'm just coming on here to talk to you about what on earth is going on in my mind in the process of me trying to create my reality. Blessings, and more blessings to every single one of you who came in. We're going to be live for 30 minutes or so. So if you want to just have me on while you're doing your work, if you want to just, listen to me go through my spiel as you move and navigate throughout your day. Of course, I'm going to be reading the comments. I am live on YouTube, Instagram, and Twitch because I told myself that I'm going to keep doing these live videos. These live videos come in handy. What? I come on here and talk to you guys for solid 30 minutes or something like that. I clip these joints up. My content for the day is good. You feel me? I'm in a good spot. How y'all feeling? I'm definitely feeling much better than I did yesterday. Oh, I love the fact that emotions move through my body quickly, you know? And it's not as fast as I want it to be because I be wanting things to change instantaneously. But to remember that emotions are energy in motion, where it's like I can think to a time where I was like, dang, I was really down out. Like, a few days ago, I had some different thoughts. And then today I'm waking up with a level of optimism. Oh, such a reminder. I really tried to absorb these moments where I feel better than I did before, because I keep saying to myself, like, okay, when that moment eventually happens again, I know that this too shall pass. I know this too shall pass. Um, okay. I had to knock out some work. I also have a brand deal that I have to work on at 12:45. So that'll be exciting. That'll be fun because a girl loves to get her bills paid. You know what I'm saying? Um, but yeah, talk to me. How you feeling? How you doing? Where you coming from around the world? And I'm gonna talk to you about a few different things that was going on in my journal, and particularly for this week. So if you're new here, if you've never seen me before, my name is Queen of Bergen. I am a professional public speaker. I'm a content creator, and I am somebody who is trying to shift their reality, ultimately and truly. Like, I live in a reality that I've created for myself, for sure, right? I've done so many different things to ensure that the space that I live in, the environment that I live in, is one that I feel like I can thrive in. But I'm still growing. I'm still evolving, and I'm excited to see that. And I know that you are becoming a version of yourself that you don't currently exist in right now. You know that you're not who you used to be, but you're not who you want to be yet. And that transitional period is an intense time for us to focus on the things that we actually want. And the best way to do that is to ignore your current reality. Ignore it. Ignore it. The world is going to call you delusional, but I need you to ignore the current reality that you exist in, because we don't belong here, people. We do not belong here. We are in the process of quantum leaping. So, whatever problems you have today, whatever emotions you are dealing with today, I assure you, the key is to completely disconnect from the reality that you are living in. And I'm excited for that because I felt like yesterday I was dealing with the problem of me trying to figure out what I was going to write for my speech. Motion makes life matter. Ooh, bars. Now I kind of want to put another M there. You know what I mean? Like, if you was gonna do the alliteration, I'd do it all the way. Somebody commented on here that said motion makes life matter. I wish I can put up, because the Instagram comments I can't push up to the front for folks to see, but it does exist. All right, Las Vegas. That's a different time zone, ain't it? What time is it in Las Vegas? Hold up. Las Vegas time. Yeah, 9:07. Yeah, y'all thought y'all a few hours back. Oh, well, good morning. I'm in Philadelphia. I am in Philly, EST. So it is now 12:07. So if I have any supporters out there who are in Philadelphia, follow me, because I be around Philly, having conversations with folks, and soon to be outside. Am I glitching? What? I don't know why that's happening. I don't know why that's happening. Okay. So yesterday I was going through these thoughts and emotions about, I don't know, I felt like I was dealing with a lot of doubt in different places. But what was interesting is that I had therapy yesterday. Okay. I've switched my therapy and I'm actually enjoying therapy during the day. Usually I was having it at night, but now I'm having therapy during the day. And in my therapy session, my therapist asked me, he was like, "What do you have doubt about?" It's like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "I feel like I'm doubting myself." And it was interesting because he ended up saying something where he was like, "But what part of yourself are you doubting? Like what version or what title are you doubting?" It's like, "What do you mean?" He was like, "Well, you wear so many hats. You wear so many hats. You ever think about that? Like you wear so many hats as a solo entrepreneur that in the moment that you doubt yourself, you're doubting yourself in its entirety, not realizing that there's a series of different things that you are actually acting out as, right?" He was like, "Are you doubting yourself as a marketer? Are you doubting yourself as a content creator? Are you doubting yourself as a speaker? Are you doubting yourself, as a friend? Like there's so many avenues to who you are that if you were to doubt yourself in your entirety, you're completely dismissing all of the effort and energy that you put into these other places." I said, "Oh, what a good point." Because in my mind, I got to be good at everything. I have to be good at everything. There can't be any facet of me that, you know what I mean? And if there is a facet of me that isn't, then the rest of me has to suffer for it. How wild is that? How absolutely insane is that? Right? So I was like, dang, I don't, and I feel like there was the parts of me that I was doubting was the thing about doubt though, the quite literal interesting thing about doubt is that it shows up at the time when your evolution is occurring. It is the signal. When someone looks at me and talks about imposter syndrome, I immediately get excited. I'm like, really? Well, what are you evolving from? Where are you coming from that you now feel like an imposter? An imposter is somebody who feels unfamiliar in the space that they currently exist in. And if you work so hard to get to where you are, why are you surprised that this new environment is unfamiliar to you? Should that not cause a level of excitement? Should that not bring up inside of your spirit, like, dang, I actually did quantum leap? I am in a whole different timeline and my body and nervous system now have to adjust. That's crazy. I don't understand how you can want one thing and not expect the other. It is a side effect. It is a side effect. You know, what part of my life, right? So I was sitting there, I was like, yo, this is great. Fantastic. Okay. So now that I'm reframing, right? Because this is all the work is. This is what all the work is. All the work is about the reframe. All the work is about the reframe because I could tell you one thing. If there was I in these four walls, we specialist at overthinking. You are a specialist at overthinking. And the reason is because you exist in your problems and in your universe, so much so that the only thing that cycles in your mind are the incomplete thoughts, are the things that you haven't finished, are the things that you need to work on. Those are the things that cycle in your mind. Right? So I'm a chronic overthinker. Chronic. Man, by the time I have a conversation with somebody, it's an unfortunate scenario. I be feeling bad when I vent to people. That's honestly why I try not to do it. I really try not to do it because I don't know about you. Have you ever vented to somebody and you realize that in the conversation, like in mid vent, you realize how much you have spent circulating on whatever it is you're talking about? You spend so much time circulating that you've already prepared a response to the person that you've already spoken to. You know what I'm saying? That's insane. That's insane. So, in the process of this quantum leap, I was dealing with these feelings of doubt. I'm like, oh, what part of me am I doubting? And I was like, that's such a good point. And the reason why it helped me out so much on the reframe was because I could then say to myself, right, I'm not trying to be the greatest marketer in the world. Okay, that's not my goal. Because whatever part of myself that I'm doubting, I have to reassess. Is that my goal? Was that the thing that I was going after? The part of yourself that you are doubting, is that the part of you that you are trying to build? Okay. If what you're doing, if that part of you is the part that you're trying to build, then you also have to accept the fact that the reason you feel doubt is because it is new. You're building it. You know, the foundation hasn't been solidified yet. It's literally the definition of building, right? It hasn't been solidified yet. Imposter syndrome is fantastic. Why are you trying to cure it? Why are you trying to cure it? Why are you trying to get rid of that? That would mean that whenever you did something, there would be no beginner phase. There would be no period of time where you get to explore, experiment, gain curiosity. You would just have and know. You know, like you just I don't even know what happens after that. You know what I'm saying? You just skip everything and just go straight to comfort. You know, and this is yeah. The reframe has really been what I've been doing. Right, these last 24 hours from yesterday. I don't know if you guys, if you haven't seen the episode from yesterday, you could check it out because in that episode, I even entered into the conversation like, oh man, I'm feeling overwhelmed. I'm feeling all these kind of things, and it's hard. One of the hard things about manifestation, and if you're in the process of like law of attraction or like trying to reframe your thoughts, all those kind of things, the problem that I typically deal with is having to overcorrect my thoughts. So I'll say something where it's like, "Oh, I'm feeling overwhelmed," and I'm like, "Wait, no, no, Queena, no. Where I'm thinking about overwhelmed. I might be overwhelmed. I'm not overwhelmed at all. I am clear about I'm perfectly clear about what it is that I want to do. There's nothing in my way. Like that I don't know. I had to like kind of sit with myself real quick because I'm like, I hear so much about manifestation, about how thought processes are, like thoughts become things, right? And I try super hard not to think about negative thoughts, but it's one of those things where it's like once you say to yourself, don't think about it, then all of a sudden I'm cycling. I'd be like, everyone, do not think about a purple cow. Don't do it. Don't put it in your mind at all. And then immediately, just out here, out here, Barney cow in my mind. I'm like, what the? That would be outrageous for a cow. What color would the spots be? Right? That's what Queen of thinking. That is what Queen of thinking, you know, in the process of this quantum leap. So that reframe was super important for me because I've had to also kind of chill out on on putting that in my mind, you know. I'm curious about anybody who isn't here. I'm not even gonna say what. Who are you trying to become? Who are you trying to become? I put out a Instagram reel maybe like a day or two ago about how there are two questions that you need to ask yourself if you want to shift your identity. And the first question is, who do you want to be? Who do you want to become? Because that determines the direction that you go, right? So if you want to be this person, that's the way you go, and if you want to be that person, that's the way you want to go, right? That helps you determine direction. The second question is, how much are you willing to suffer in order to become that person? I had someone comment on that though, and they were just like, I don't like the word suffering. I don't like the way that sounds. It implies that there's a level of punishment. Thing is that I don't want to hide from suffering, right? I definitely, I don't. Who wants to suffer? I mean, who wakes up in the morning like, you know what? I want a daily dose of some good old struggle. Just give me a slice of struggle today, and I would be okay. You know. So it's just getting 1% better every day, right? But I I recognize that your success is directly proportional to how much you are willing to sacrifice. And the reason why I say suffering is inevitable in this process, and suffering implies that there's like, because there's a spectrum, I mean, I'm not saying to torture yourself, but I mean it to say in the level of discomfort. But the reason you experience discomfort in the process of shifting your identity is because your old identity does not want to leave. You have been compounding these thoughts and opinions about yourself and the places that you've been, the people that you're around, the way that the world is, the way society is for decades. It's an entity. It's you. It's literally who you have been. And if you are trying to change that, you are undoubtedly going to deal you are undoubtedly going to deal with issues. I'm so sorry because the brand deal sent me something and was just like, hey, you got an invoice to send. And I'm like, I didn't I? All right, well, I'm gonna send another way. Hey, listen, I ain't. You see that? Look at that shifting identities. You heard that? God came through and said, "Send the invoice." God came through and said, "Send the invoice." That's what it is. That's what it is. I had to deal with the discomfort, and I was like, "Wait, what? I'm out here for getting money." That's the type of time I'm talking about. You know. I used to manage my suffering. Today, I manage my emotions. Bar. You know, you want to hear something incredible about the human body and how important it is? I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you something incredible about the human body. Everyone in the world thinks that they think with their mind and they immediately say to themselves, their thoughts are what's important. I have to change the way that I'm thinking about things. You got to remember, the first organ that the body develops is the heart. That's the first one that the body develops is the heart. The electromagnetic field of the heart is degrees. It is degrees higher than the brain. The heart, the electromagnetic field of the heart is degrees higher than the brain, and it is the first organ that the body develops. And anybody who's interested in manifestation, anybody who's interested in consciousness and belief and all that, they've heard this statement before. You've heard it 1,000 times before, but you have not heard the entirety of the actual verse. People will say, as a man thinketh. And then they stop there for some reason. But you got to finish it. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Not thinketh in the mind, not thinketh in the soul. As a man thinketh in the heart. Why? Because it's not just the thought. It is the emotion that follows it. It is the amount of conviction that you have in that thought that makes it the reality. The conviction. It is the emotion. When you look into somebody's eyes and be like, I am oppressed, I'm dealing with all of these things, the struggle exists, they have emotion tied to those thought processes and beliefs. That's why it exists. Somebody hit me one time recently and was talking about how, like, it's like, it's like prosperity gospel. Like, ugh, don't do that. Don't put me in that world. Don't put me in that world. We ain't talking religion. We ain't talking, you know what I mean? But I mean, at the same time, why would I have beef with prosperity gospel? I mean, if gospel means the good news and prosperity means abundance, the good news about abundance, why not? Is this another one? Oh, wait, no, hold on. What? Yep, another invoice. Look at that. Yep. He said, I'm copying them so they could take care of you. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Detach from the outcome. Detach from the outcome. How long we been live? Let me just make sure I'm good on time. All right, everybody in there, like, talk to me about what you feeling. Talk to me about what you're going through. That's why I don't ask people how their day is going. I'm like, how's your energy? How's your energy? Where your energy at? Because I do a really good job of either attracting or repelling the kind of people I want in my life. I do a fantastic job. Fantastic job. In fact, the more I talk, the more I express myself, is the more I attract or repel people that either need to, like, stick around or remove themselves from my space. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. I might actually think that's the key. I'm so concerned, right? And I'll be thinking, I was talking to somebody and I was like, you are so concerned about saying something that's going to offend somebody. You are so concerned about saying something that is going to make somebody feel uncomfortable, not realizing that the more you express your thoughts and opinions is the more you're going to attract the people who agree with you and repel the people that don't. And the real question I ask you is, who do you want to have in your reality? Who do you want to have in your existence? Because if you do not want these people in your existence, then it sounds like your words are doing exactly what you want them to do. Seems like that might actually be the key. If I were to pick a key. Oh, what the she always outside. That's crazy. That seems like the answer to me. That seems like the answer to me. So, today is Tuesday, right? Today's Tuesday, and I have exactly 38 days until I am competing in the World Championships of Public Speaking. I don't know if anyone, if everyone knows that. I am competing to be the best talker in the world. I am competing to be the best talker in the world. And over the course of the next 7 days, I'll be writing my speech. Excuse me. I will be writing my speech. Right. So I'm gonna be writing my speech for the World Championship. And there are people out there right now who's sitting there thinking, like, what? She ain't even write it yet? That's crazy. She ain't even write it. That's literally all the advice that I've gotten from my team. Every time I talk to them, they're like, Queena, have you written your speech yet? Nope. Queena, you gotta write your speech. It's cringe. I don't like when people say that. I don't like when it like I've gotten that piece of advice so many times in the process of going for the world champ. Like in the last few weeks, it's like, you got to write your speech. You got to write your speech. I'm like, okay, y'all don't think I know that? Y'all don't think I know? You ever get advice from somebody and you wonder to yourself if they're insulting your intelligence? Somebody give me advice and be like, I really think you should post on Instagram. That would really help out for you to do what you need to do. Do you think what? Sometimes people give me advice and I recognize that you don't know who, where, or what I am. Like I'll be looking like, wait, what? How? Did you think that was, were you moving the needle forward in your mind? Did you? I know they want to help. I know they just want to help. But sometimes I'll be looking at, I really have to be thinking to myself, I'm like, that's interesting. That's interesting. Shout out to everybody who is joining in on the chat. I really appreciate you for coming into Stream of Consciousness. I am literally just for the next few days. I don't know if I'm going to keep doing this, but every single day I am logging on just to talk about, consciousness, reality creation. I'm going after the biggest stage I've ever been on my entire life. The World Championships of Public Speaking is happening in Vancouver, British Columbia. So I'll be flying out there. I'm probably going to get my flight and all that stuff as soon as I actually hop off of this call. And I want to document my mindset throughout this process. I really want to document the times where I doubt myself, the times where I'm confident, the times, where I'm building what it is that I want to talk about on stage, because I do want to be a professional speaker. It's crazy why I say want to be. Again, remember I told you when I be saying things, it's not that I want to be. Because in my mind, I'll immediately say like, oh, if I say that, then I'm going to get more wanting. I am a professional speaker. I've actually been doing it for over 25 years, actually, professionally, for the last few years. But I mean, in terms of like getting into keynotes and going to schools and, going outside and really using my story as a means to help inspire other people and then also provide the abundance that I know that I deserve in my life. When you have that combination of two things, oh, beauty, right? I am a full-time creator. I'm a full-time creator. I create in a variety of different ways. And I essentially want to stabilize this a bit. I want to get to the point where I want to make my money from source. So many people will say like, oh, I want to get paid to exist. I don't know about that. Once you become self-employed, you're going to realize how being paid to exist has far more let me rephrase that. Once you realize, or if you're asking yourself that you want to be paid to exist, once you get it, you're going to realize there are more cons than pros to doing that. Because when your identity is directly correlated to your income, then who you are becomes what you make. And if you don't make something, then who will you be? Not a good combination. I know it sounds good when we say it on the internet, but let's have some critical thinking. Let's have some critical thinking, right? We got to be cautious about the words that we use. All right. So shout out to everybody who's in the chat. Hold on, let me check out because I see that the chat is moving. So I'm gonna okay, so sup fam, I recently finished a cybersecurity diploma. Congrats. Any job referral will be appreciated. I'm from Kenya. Ooh, what's up? Y'all have a lot of people who are following me from Africa, right? Nigeria, Kenya. I had somebody from I don't know if it was like the Ivory Coast, but shout out to you. And in turn, like cybersecurity is big. Anybody who's going after their dreams like that, you know, and that's exactly who comes into these streams, by the way. I am talking to the person who has a dream, who knows that they are made for more, who is trying to achieve something that they do not have in their current reality. And you are trying to find a way to get there. And even if it isn't that I am directly correlated to the industry that you're in or the space that you want to be in, there is a level of inspiration that you can get from somebody just being able to move through another day of existing in your current reality. That's honest. That is the most that is one of the greatest gifts somebody can give me. It throughout my journey was just saying something that brought me through that day, brought me through that week. Because the more I did that, the faster and more efficient the reality I was going after was coming. I wish you the very best. You'll write it and you'll be fabulous. Thank you, Lilanda. That's the goal. Morning from Seattle. Hey, I'm gonna be in your area. The World Championships is in Vancouver. I don't know how much of that area, but someone is coming from Seattle to come watch me. So, you know, in case you wanted to come see me become the world's best speaker, I loved your becoming a morning person content. Fire. I am indeed a morning person now. Yeah. And I was shifting. The person who commented about that was essentially saying that I have a series that I was doing every single morning last week, where it was day 1 or 2 of becoming a morning person, where I set goals for the times that I wanted to wake up and for the times that I wanted to get inside of this office. So I have been consistent. I am still a morning person and I love the morning. And I love the morning because the morning is when I have the most confidence in myself. Be transparent with you. The morning is when I have the most confidence in myself. When I wake up in the morning, I feel like I have a day that can be seized. You know, I wake up in the morning and I'm like, all right, cool. I wake up in the morning knowing that I have opportunity. Like I have, you know, $1,884 to spend and I could do it anywhere that I want, right? That's how many minutes is in a day, right? Oh no, 1,440. Right? I have all of this. I wake up in the morning like it's the first day on a 2-week paycheck. I'm like, oh, I can eat good today. I can eat good today. I could go out and see my friend. I could check out that new. I can buy me a new. That's how I wake up in the morning. So that's why I wanted to prioritize becoming a morning person, because if I do the hardest aspects of my day when I am the most confident, then I am going to position myself for success. The question is, why is it that as the day goes on, you become less confident? You ever notice that? And the reason is because when time passes, you become aware of so many different things. In the course of time passing, you will have experienced somebody else's thoughts, somebody else's beliefs. The world is going to say things to you and do things to you. You're going to get criticism, feedback. You're going to experience traffic or somebody else's energy and emotion affect you. You're also going to start spending those dollars. And as soon as those dollars start getting down to the gritty, you start realizing, I'm like, oh, you're back here again. Pockets is getting low, right? Pockets is getting low. By the time the nighttime come, I don't got that same level of optimism in in myself. You know, I'm not saying I'm at 0, but there's, you know, some people start off the day at that. You know, at least I'm waking up on some. You know what I mean? I don't know if there's a character that's really happy in the morning, but I really be waking up on one. I'd be like, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Generally speaking, you know. But as the day goes on, you start to experience things, you're productive or you get setbacks, and all of those things like quietly just tick off. Some of them, sometimes you can be giving away $1, you know what I mean, of that 1,040, and then sometimes you might lose 50. Somebody gonna say something, $50 gone. You know, you get some bad news, $100 gone. I start scrolling on social media, boom, overdraft. You in Florida? Shout out to Florida. Shout out to folks who are tapping in from Florida. I need to get on a plane. To be honest with you, I haven't been on a plane all year, and Florida is usually the place that I go. Why? Because it's usually affordable, right? I'll hop on a nice little, you know what I'm saying? Nice little United. I wasn't on Spirit, you feel me? But I hop on a nice little United. I'll fly myself to Florida for 4 days, get myself a little spot in Orlando. I don't need to be in Miami. That's way too expensive. I went to Miami once, and it was like for a few days, and I spent thousands for no reason because I just did ridiculous stuff. I did ridiculous stuff. I did stuff where it's like I know I had money, and I just didn't care about. You know what I mean? I went there by myself, and I remember I rented a convertible for 1 hour just so that I could drive down like Brookwell or wherever that the strip is, just to drive down there. But it was so hot. I thought I was cool. It was dope for 6 minutes. Then my phone start overheating. The leather seats was hot as hell. I was like, I literally for 1 hour. You're dope. Thank you, Savannah. I appreciate you. Thank you again for the live that you did on the TED Talk Artist Residency. I'm currently reshaping my project, and I am catching this live. Fire. If you wanted to check that out too, TED Talk, Ted and Posca are doing a $15,000 artist residency. I talked about it on my Instagram page, and I also did a live masterclass talking about my strategies that I would use if I were going to apply for it. You can check it out on my YouTube. Okay, that was actually an alert for my meeting that's going to be coming up. So I'm going to definitely hop off this soon. Let's see. Do we have any comments? Heard and felt working on my routine tighter and hitting those times. I got dopamine from you hitting them. Oh, that's fire. That's what I'm talking about. That's it. The only thing we trying to do is if I could do anything, just a little bit more to inspire, you could do that. Just a little bit more to inspire that you could do that. So I'm letting you all know right now, for the next 7 days is when I'm going to be in my mindset of writing my speech. I'll be writing my speech over the course of the next 7 days. And it's really just going to be me documenting the different emotions that I've gone throughout this process. And the thing about the World Championships is that the speech needs to be 5 to 7 minutes long, but this is an international speech competition, which means that the people who are coming here are from all around the world. So it's important that the topics that I choose or the things that I use to reference inside of this speech is something that connects to not just the people in my culture, but us as humans, because that's what stories are made for. Stories are made for all of us to connect, and to compete at the highest level possible is a place where I want to practice my ability to connect with somebody who doesn't look like me, who doesn't come from where I come from, and who doesn't share the same life experiences as you and I, right? And when you are able to convey your life story in a way to somebody who has never experienced it, to make something that you have gone through relatable to the person who is looking at you or the person who's having a conversation, that's how you can win. That is how you can win. And I do it in grants. I do it on the page and on the stage. I've gotten jobs that I was not qualified for. I've been in opportunities that I had never experienced, because if you are able to convey the emotion of what it is they want, you want, in rapid fire, in succession, to articulate yourself, there's nothing but success ahead of you. It's inevitable. It is inevitable. Savannah, thank you so much. I just get a whole lot of like, yo, you're dope. Thank you. I'm trying. Yes. Thank you. I appreciate the love. I appreciate the love. So I'm going to be hopping off this because I'm going to get ready for my brand deal conversation that I have coming up. Thank you so much for hopping on Stream of Consciousness. If you want to replay this, if you're going on about your day, you can just go over to my YouTube channel. That is at the link in my bio and check out, the Stream of Consciousness. But I'm probably going to clip this up, put this online, and just document this process as we go along. So again, thank you so much. And please ignore the reality that you exist in and focus on the reality that you want, because you are a creator and that is what you are creating. Peace, people.